Do you use large language models to generate code? I love using ChatGPT to generate code, but I find it a little bit time consuming to gather the particular files that I need for context. Maybe it's the code, the documentation, or the support files. So I decided to create a little tool which will gather the specific files I need within a project and make them available in the clipboard so that I can paste them straight into the large language model I'm using at the time. Hi, I'm Appy Dave, and in this channel, Appy Dave Coding, I use ChatGPT to build applications for myself. Let's start with a couple of examples. So imagine you've got a project that you've created and there's a deep project tree of files and you want to convey this information to ChatGPT or another large language model. Or you might have something a little bit more specific, like components that you're running. There might be some in the bin folder, you might have library files, you might have unit tests. Or there could be a variety of files that you're trying to work with, and you don't just want the structure of the files, but you want all the content within them. Now I've created this little tool called GPT Context, and what you can do with it is pass it a bunch of options. So the first option here is the include, and in this case I've got */*, so it's just going to grab every file within the project. But you can also exclude files, so in this case I don't want to see anything from the node modules or my coverage folder. And lastly, I want to display it in a tree format in this particular case. And what it would do when you run it is it just grabs all the files and then displays it in tree format and puts it into the clipboard for you. The next example is about making code available for a specific component to ChatGPT. So in this case, the component in question happens to be the tool that I'm building. It's called GPT Context. And what I've done here is included only the files that are related to the content. I've made sure that it's been displayed in tree format. And then when you run it from the command line, you'll just get a list of the files, in this case from the bin directory, the library directory, and the unit test directory. And it's also put into the clipboard, so I can paste it directly into ChatGPT with some sort of prompt to do something about it. Tree structures are interesting, but code is more useful. So let's have a look at the many content example. So what we should be able to do is work with different sorts of files. Here we've got a Markdown, a JSON, a Python, and a JavaScript bit of content. Now, if we were to remove the format as tree, what this tool will do is copy the content instead. Now, it does it in a specific fashion. What it will do is look at all the different files. So we've got some JavaScript, we've got some JSON, we've got some Python, and as it puts it into the clipboard, we should be able to see it with file names between each piece of content. And this is just useful context for the ChatGPT. It's got access to the code, it's got access to the file name, it's got access, to this case, to a complete component set of files. It goes into the clipboard, and from there we should just be able to go straight to ChatGPT, put in some sort of prompt that we want, like what is this code doing, and just paste it directly in. Let's have a look at this application in action. So if we head over here and we'll go to GPT Context, and what we're at is the command line tool with the various options that we can pass in. From there, we should be able to head over to the file collector, and the file collector is what's taking these options and reading in and building out the tree, or it's building out the content and putting it into the clipboard. And the last file going on in here is the unit test. So there's a couple of unit tests going on that make sure that content is being read correctly and that the trees are being done. Let's try running this. We'll head over to a terminal, and what we'll do is we'll type in GPT Context, and in this case I'm running it from the project directory, so we'll include anything that says GPT Context Ruby in this case, and anything that is in a GPT Context subfolder. We've got it in display format and we want to see the tree, and we can see that right here. Now if we head over to ChatGPT, we should be able to type in read, and we will just paste in this information. And all we're trying to do at the moment is absorb a little bit of information. And we'll head back to our terminal and we will just run the command again, but this time we'll get rid of the tree. And because let's see all the content. I don't usually display content, but we can do that as we're going. So a bunch of content has been collected, and if we head back to the GPT, we should be able to say something like, what is this code doing? And we'll just paste everything in. It should all be there, and we'll see what happens. Let's have a look at what ChatGPT has come up with. So we can see here that there is a GPT context RB file. It's given us some usage instructions, including the option passing parameters. They're all available. And then it starts talking about the code that's made available within the system, and finally talks about the unit tests. Now, the interesting thing is that we just ran the one command to get all the code we wanted. If we wanted this in, say, JavaScript, we should be able to write a little prompt. Let's see what that does. So I've just put in a simple prompt. How would you write the code, including the unit tests in JavaScript? And we'll just see what it comes up with. That's in the middle of writing stuff. It says it should use the commander package, and we've got options coming through. And what's it going to say for the unit tests? So we've got a bunch of unit tests being written here, and everything looks like it would work. Of course, I haven't tested this. We've got the file collector going on here in JavaScript. So the great thing about working this way is that you get to work specifically on the files that make sense for you in your project and make them available in either tree format or code format to ChatGPT. If you're interested in videos on ChatGPT and coding, then please like and subscribe. If you want access to the code in this video, then just click on the link in the description. Otherwise, I'm Appy Dave, and I'll see you in the next video.